Namaskar class 9th. We had discussed the introduction of chapter number 5, that why cell is important, why it is known as fundamental unit of life. Now today we will discuss the important structural organization of the cell. Okay, means how cell is structurally composed of, and why it is known as a fundamental unit. So first we need to understand the structure of cell. We all know there are many examples of cells, like bacterial cell. Okay, we have RBC cells, red blood cells, WBC cells. We have many cells in our body as well as in other organisms. We all have different structural unit, because but the basic composition remains the same. We have generally a unicellular and multicellular organisms, in which we know that unicellular organisms are made up of only one kind of cell, and that single cell performs all the metabolic function, important function for the sustain or survival of the cell, okay, particular organism, as in case of bacteria, amoeba, euglena, paramecium and all. But in case of multicellular organisms, we have different types of organelles. So the structure of the cell become little bit more complex. Okay, structurally complex, because every part is divided with the respective function to perform. Now first cell organelle which we are going to discuss in today's video is plasma membrane or cell membrane. Children, you know that animals are having plasma membrane and plants are also having plasma membrane, but plants are having one more specific or cell organelle, the outermost layer, which is known as cell wall, and this cell wall is completely absent in case of animal cells, right? So animal cells, the outermost layer is known as plasma membrane or cell membrane. Hence here we are going to start with plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is the boundary between the cell and its environment. So it is very much clear that it is the outermost layer of the cell. Okay, plasma membrane act as a boundary and protect the internal environment of the cell from the outer environment. Okay, also it regulates the entry and exit the cell, means it regulates the entry of all the important materials, whatever are entering inside the cell. Okay, so it regulates that function. Now these cells must maintain an appropriate amount of molecules to function inside them. It means whatever important molecules or substances required by the cell to perform some function, though that only are allowed by the plasma membrane to enter. So plasma membrane is also known as selective permeable membrane. I am again repeating, plasma membrane is also known as selective permeable membrane, because it allows only selective molecules to enter inside the cell. Now cell must okay, this is done. Now they must also have a way to keep things out to go or to allow things to enter. So entry and exits are all of the important components, or the important substances are all regulated by the plasma membrane. Okay, so it is known as selectively permeable membrane. We can take an example of respiration. Through lungs, the inhaled air enters into the alveoli of the lungs. Okay, so when you see the human respiratory system, you will come to know what is alveoli. So in next class in 10th you will study this process. So in short, I'll explain this for you with the help of the example of plasma membrane, that in respiration process, in respiratory system, when all the air is inhaled and collected in the alveoli of the lungs, Here the plasma membrane is all around present in the cells. It allows the selective gases to enter and exit in the cell. It means for the respiration in our body we require oxygen, large amount of oxygen, which is coming with the inhale air. And in our body, as a byproduct of the other metabolic activities, we are getting more amount of CO2, which is waste for our body, and we need to exhale out this CO2 gas because it is toxic. So the exchange of these two gases takes place in the membrane of alveoli and the blood cells. Okay, because our blood is having more amount of carbon dioxide at that time, and alveoli is having more amount of oxygen at that time. So a partial pressure condition takes place, and due to this, oxygen from the alveoli transfer to the blood, and CO2 from the blood enters to the alveoli. This selective permeable exchange takes place with the help of this plasma membrane of the cells. I hope this example is clear to everybody. Now, plasma membrane is composed of phospholipid bilayer. Now I'll show you the diagram of plasma membrane, that how it looks like. See, plasma membrane is made up of glycoproteins, carbohydrate chains, phospholipids, as I told you, phospholipids. But the important point you have to see, that is, it is having hydrophilic region and hydrophobic region. Okay, this is hydrophobic. So here the tail part is known as hydrophobic. Hydrophobic region is a tail part. Okay, here, and hydrophilic region is a head-like structure which is present on the outer covering. This yellow beads are hydrophilic region, and this is hydrophobic, the internal green part, tail shape. Okay, so hydrophobic, what is the meaning of phobia? Phobia for some material. Okay, and philic means loving towards those material. Okay, so we will discuss it, this also. Hence, plasma membrane is composed of phospholipid bilayer, which is two layers of phospholipids back to back. Phospholipids are lipids with a phosphate group attached to them, and the phospholipids have one head and two tails. I showed you this in the diagram, the previous diagram. Head is a polar, hydrophilic and water loving. So here, loving towards the water, and hydrophobic means non-polar part, or I can say hate towards the water, that was shown in the figure as in the form of tail. So water fearing. Okay, so these two things made the plasma membrane selectively permeable in nature, and this is very important. Okay, so the structure is also clear to you. Now you know the definition of plasma membrane, its structure also. One thing is very important to go ahead, that is differences between osmosis and diffusion. This is also important. Just see here the diagram simply. See, this is diffusion, this diagram. In our first chapter I explained you one scent example, perfume example, when we had talked the properties of matter. That is simply diffusion. This is water in a container, and I am putting here we are adding potassium permanganate, which is violet color in nature, KMnO4 crystals. After some time it will completely dissolve and make the whole solution, whole water in a purple color. Okay, this mixing of the one particle to the another particle is known as simply diffusion, because diffusion is a simply spontaneous process. It will happen at room temperature without any special condition, hence it is spontaneous in nature. This is simply a diffusion. In case of osmosis, This is very much similar with diffusion, but here one important membrane is here which act as a boundary between the two solutions. First, this boundary is known as semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so in this part we are having fresh water, pure water, and on another half we are having salt water. So in fresh water the salt concentration is less, children, and water concentration is more, and in case of salt water the salt concentration is more. Hence, due to the presence of this semi-permeable membrane, the movement of water takes place from fresh water towards the salty water, and they are crossing the semi-permeable membrane, so only water molecules are passing, not any other material from this fresh water. This process is known as osmosis. This you can easily observe when you put some dry mangoes in water for some times, apricot in water, and you will see that raisins in water, and you will see later on that they become swollen up because they absorb the water. So it's, in simple term, osmosis is actually the transfer of the water molecule in the presence of semi-permeable membrane from its higher concentration to lower concentration. This you have to understand. So the simple differences are given here. See, in diffusion, flow of either solute or solvent molecules in both the direction, so it is spontaneous and flawless. It is in two directional, I can say. But in case of osmosis, only the flow of solvent molecules takes place, because in case of osmosis solvent particles are more as compared to solute. The concentration of solvent molecules are higher as compared to solutes. So only solvent molecules involved in the flowing process from one direction to another direction, and this is unidirectional because only molecules transfer from one part to another part in one direction. Second point, diffusion, no such membrane is required, but in case of osmosis, yes, partially permeable membrane is required. Diffusion is a fast process, osmosis is a slow process, and in diffusion movement over large distances it can be possible, but in case of osmosis the movement is only for a short distance. So now we have studied the basic structure, the importance of the plasma membrane organelle of cell, and it is really very important because it selectively allow the important materials to pass through it. And we have discussed the osmosis, we have understood this process through the diagram also. Okay children, I hope this is clear to everybody. And this diffusion and osmosis process takes place everywhere in this environment as well as inside our body. Okay, so this is very important. Even in the aquatic animals, they easily through the diffusion process they do the exchange of gases and minerals and components inside their body, especially aquatic animals. Okay, and the layer of the cell of the body is made up of plasma membrane, so only osmosis will take place. I think this is clear to everybody. Thank you so much. We will continue this in our next video. Okay, be happy, be safe, take care, bye bye.